Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Monday, August 21st.
A Daytona Beach man found out the hard way how good our detectives are after he robbed a mobile gas station on Pine Lakes Parkway.
Colin Calvert, who was involved in the armed robbery at Pine Lakes Parkway mobile gas station in Palm Coast on December 19th, received a prison sentence of 10 years, followed by 5 years of probation for his participation in both the Flagler County armed robbery and a related incident in Volusia County. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
Our detectives were quickly able to identify him and arrest him. He now has a long time to think about his activity in the Florida prison system, since the judge sentenced him to a long time in jail, not only on the Flagler County armed robbery, but also for crimes he committed in Volusia County and his many crime spree. I commend our detectives for putting him away and quickly solving this case.
In Flagler County, he faced charges of robbery with a firearm, while in Volusia County, he was accused of 4 counts of grand theft, 2 counts of dealing in stolen property, armed burglary of an unoccupied structure, and criminal mischief. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you.
I have a huge concern about the working class people here in Palm Coast that are suffering and have such a difficult time obtaining the American dream.
That's Palm Coast City Councilwoman Kathy Hyder, who says for too many, that dream is not a reality.
And it is becoming unreachable here at this point for so many hard-working men and women that live here in Flagler County. And my concern is that we at some point have to be willing to do something to help. Everybody has to be willing to pitch in.
That's why she's so focused on adding more affordable housing in Flagler County.
It doesn't just start right here in the community and start right here with just the builders. We're going to start with our government, administration, and work down. Everyone has to be willing to give up something and pitch in so that we're able to provide proper housing for these hardworking individuals here in Palm Coast. We have to find a way to help these individuals on the road to home ownership.
She defines what she means when she says everyone must give up something for the educators, police officers, firefighters, and other civil servants we need in our community.
If we cut back on unnecessary spending here in the community and with the city and in our budgets, I do believe there are places where we can shave our budget to be able to provide some kind of assistance and help. With the mortgage lenders, with them also. I mean, it's a chain reaction just about with everything that we do. So that chain reaction, it affects the city, it affects our homeowners, our citizens and residents here. It affects our banking system.
Tomorrow on Flagler's Morning News on WNZF, we'll talk with Jeff Douglas of Douglas Property and Development about the hurdles developers face when it comes to affordable housing. Part of Pine Lakes Parkway in Palm Coast will be closed this week for emergency repairs.
A collapsed stormwater culvert pipe at the cross streets of Pine Lakes Parkway and Wellington Drive has created unsafe traveling conditions, and an emergency structural repair is needed on this portion of the road. The City of Palm Coast stormwater crews will replace the pipe beginning Monday, August 21st, which will require a road closure. It's an open-cut project, meaning the road will be open to remove the existing pipe and install the replacement pipe. The closure will impact eastbound traffic on Pine Lakes Parkway. A mandatory turnaround will redirect motorists back to Palm Coast Parkway. For those traveling from Belterre Parkway down Pine Lakes Parkway, there will be a detour to guide you to the northern entrance of Wellington Drive. The construction activity is scheduled to be done in a week. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Who is responsible for making sure that short-term rentals are on the up and up?
Shelley Edmondson is the operations manager at the Flagler County Tax Collector's Office. She said on a recent episode of Real Estate Matters with Toby Tobin that it's not her office.
We're not compliance. So if you are renting your home illegally, that's between you and code enforcement. But I assure you that if you're charging rent, you're responsible for the tourist tax, and that's where we come in.
Edmondson said that her office does enforce the payment of taxes for rentals, but they are not responsible for the compliance of code enforcement. You can listen to Real Estate Matters with Toby Tobin on Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on WNZF or on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, the fun tax. From the WNZF newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.
And now, Mike Licio with your WNZF local sports update.
Friday night, FPC and Matanzas football played their preseason kickoff classics. The Bulldogs made the trek to Jacksonville to take on Atlantic Coast. Jaquan Grimes had a 1-yard touchdown run for FPC to make it 14-7. Corinthians Watson had an interception. Colby Cronk had 3 sacks and a forced fumble in the 14-9 loss. Coach Daniel Fish on his defense.
I thought we did an awesome job flying to the ball, playing good assignment football. D-line really represented us well and was giving the backfield a lot of hell. And we threw a pick six the first play. They get the ball on our 16-yard line, and it took them, 8-9 plays to score on it?
Caden Gonzalez, Cole Walker, and Ladarius Simmons all took turns behind center.
I still believe it's a 3-man battle. First game, you kind of want to limit it down to 2, but I'm just not sure we're there yet.
Matanzas took the trip south to Daytona Stadium to take on Mainland. The Bucs scored on their first 2 offensive possessions. From there, the Pirate defense kept Mainland off the board the remainder of the varsity portion, but the Bucs scored on interception and punt returns to make it 28-0 when the JV teams took the field. The Pirates travel to Groveland Friday to take on Southlake. This Friday, WNZF will ring in the new football season in a big way. Coverage will start at 7 p.m. with the Football County Kickoff Show. We'll have coach and player interviews, break down districts, and preview the season openers for Matanzas and FPC. At 7:30, we'll broadcast the FPC Swanee game in Live Oak. A special Rich and Mike sports show will air Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. Rich and I will record a post-game show on the way home. Volleyball season starts this week. FPC hosts Deltona Wednesday. Matanzas will host St. Joseph's Academy. The Pirates are coming off a school record 16 wins, but Coach Don Moses' team wants more.
The goals of this year's team are to have 18 wins and get into a district championship game. These are hefty goals because we did up our schedule a little bit. They're up for the test and up for the challenge.
Other action this week, FPC Bowling takes on Atlantic tonight in Ormond. Wednesday, FPC and Matanzas Boys Golf square off. Matanzas Swimming takes on Mainland. Thursday, Matanzas Girls Golf takes on Pedro Menendez and the alma mater, St. Augustine. FPC hired George Butts as girls basketball coach. Butts won 515 games in 25 seasons at Atlantic. We have local updates Mondays and Fridays. From the sports desk, I'm Mike Licio.